Hey, I'm Ryan Wiersma, and 7 years ago, I bought a piece of land here in Ecuador. And during those 7 years, I went to the oil and gas industry, pipelining, and I worked my ass off, and I saved up a bunch of money, and now I'm building my dream house here in Ecuador. And I gotta say, it's just been one of the greatest experiences of my life. What I do is I make videos explaining the steps, so if anybody else ever wants to build a house here in Ecuador, they'll have a general idea of the cost of things here. First is cleaning the land. We hired 3 men and me. The price for each guy is this. The main maestro is around $50 a day. He is your project manager and he does all the organizing. The other 2 men, depending on the skill level, are around $30 a day. Next, we grabbed the machetes and started hacking down the vegetation. We had some trees in the way where the house was gonna go and had to cut those down. We cut down the least amount of trees possible because I'm on a hill and vegetation is one of the best ways preventing your hill from eroding away.
Yeah, muchachos, de Ecuador.
So all this is gonna get clean with the boys. Basically, as we flatten it out, we'll also be putting pillars here. Be putting all pillars here. It'll be the foundation of the house. And it'll kind of be lipping over. And then the patio will be somewhere around here, overlooking the ocean.
Next, to find out how deep we needed to cut into the land, we put water into hose to find out how much higher the top of the hill was to the bottom. Basically, one guy at the top, one guy at the bottom. And the guy at the bottom lets the water run out until it equalizes, and then measures what's left in the hose. And that's basically how much earth we need to shave out of that particular corner of the land.
Doing the level of the land, we're using water. This is pretty badass. This is to see how high the top is compared to the bottom here. And now we have a rectangle where the house is gonna go. It's a pretty cool method, the old water on a hose method. We're gonna know where we're shaving off the land.
After we figured out how much earth we needed to move, we brought in a machine. Now, one of these machines costs around $280 a day. So we got him carving out our foundation in the land. About 3/4 way through, the guy popped a tire and the things came to a halt. So we called the tire guy. In about an hour, we had the tire fixed up and we were back online. I just want to point out here some Ecuadorian steel toe flip-flops. So it didn't take long and the machine finished up the job. So this is the finished product of what the land looks like when it was all done. And this will be the patio, this will be the view. Next is the bodega. Why do you need a bodega? First thing is you need a secure place to put your materials and tools. Because like any country, people will steal your supplies if they are left unattended. You'll also need a bodega to put a security guard in, and he'll need a dry place to stay while he watches your materials. Another reason for the bodega is it is used to keep your bags of cement and tools in a dry place in case of rain. So our bodega was just a small little hut. Got some pretty good wood there. Started building our framework, and then we had our finished product, which is this.
Bodega. Here she be. Storing our supplies and tools so people can't take them.
Just a local iguana just chilling out on the hill, looking badass. Things I ran into and didn't see coming. I had a water system put in 4 years ago. And during that time, some bastard stole my setup. So remember, when you put your water in, make sure it is firmly bolted down with lock and key, like this. In this video, I'm gonna show you how to build a septic tank in Ecuador. Why do you need it? For your shit! Let's go! First of all, we had to bring in a machine to dig our hole, and he dug a big hole. Next, we needed to decide the shape of the tank. And in this case, we chose a circular design. The framing you're looking at the top of the hole has strings dangling down. Now this is to make sure that we build the wall straight up and not crooked.
What we chose to build the wall out of was red brick. Now, red brick is porous and will act as a filtration system and let the water pass through it and keep the solids in the tank. We also have some holes in the tank for the water to get through, but on the other side, we have an osmosis cloth to keep the solids in and let the water out. I gotta hand it to the Ecuadorian boys. They work hard. Everything here is done through manual labor. And as you can see, Buddy there, he's hauling bricks up and down a ladder, and he's doing that all day long. As we continued building the wall got too high, and we had to bring in some scaffolding. As you can see here, this is how we mix the mortar, sand and a bag of concrete. This is what the septic tank looks like half done, and this is what the septic tank looks like at its sufficient height. Next, we brought in the bamboo. The bamboo is used for support to the top of the septic tank, which will be the concrete foundation. Just look at that guy at the bottom of the tank. Ha! Now this is what it looks like with all the bamboo in there, ready to make the foundation. Come on, boys, hammer it up good and solid. What you're looking at here will be the base that we pour the concrete on top to be our foundation. And our neighborhood iguanas stop by. As you can see, we have rebar to make sure the foundation has extra strength in it. And finally, the finished product. Now, the nice thing about the septic tank, it will act as a retaining wall for my hill. So really, it serves two purposes. Thanks for watching. I hope this helped. If you have any questions, just leave it in the comments.
I'm gonna show you what a $10,000 foundation looks like in Ecuador. Also, I'm gonna show you the square meters of my house so you can do a rough calculation if you're thinking about building here in Ecuador.
Now this is my place. The house is 100 square meters and the patio is 50 square meters. So there is your scale, and here is the building of the foundation. That's Pedro planning to put down the grids for the foundation columns. This is one of the pillars that will be part of the foundation. Now, these are all the pillars that will be the foundation that we dug, and there's the boys just digging them deeper. They go about 3 feet deep. Then we add a big rock base, then pour a thin layer of concrete on top. Next, we start making the rebar columns like this with the whole crew. Here's Tulin manually bending rebar for the column. Everything in Ecuador is done through hands-on manual labor. They really get their hands in the clay. Now manually, we have to make hundreds of these rectangles. These rectangles will give the column its structure and extra strength. This is the finished product. And here they are in the columns. And then we put them in the hole and make sure they're straight. This is what the columns look like inside the hole. Then what we do is we tie them up like this so they're properly straight. Then we start with the mixer to mix some concrete to put into the columns. Now as you see, boys are working pretty hard. Everything's manual labor. Even that bag that the guy's pouring in, that bag weighs 50 kgs and he's just holding it on his shoulder. Then we take wheelbarrows and then pour the concrete into those foundation bases. Shovel it around to make sure there's no air pockets. Then Lula takes his trowel and makes it nice and smooth like this. Now we manually have to dig in the foundation. That means pickaxes and shovels and a lot of hard work. Next, we start putting a thin layer of concrete on the bottom. This is what it looks like when it's done. We add plastic to prevent fungus from getting in the foundation. We add our rebar columns to give the foundation its strength and structure. Next, we add the wooden forms around the rebar structure with the plastic inside them like this. Then we crank on the mixer and we start pouring in concrete. This is what it looks like when we pour the concrete and the concrete's wet. Now we wait a day and then we take off the forms when the concrete is dry like this. And we repeat the process and over until we get our foundation that looks like this. This is the finished product right here. You ready for this? Up next,
It's column time.
that's right, wrapping that column with the form.
Wrap that column just like
Now we're getting wheelbarrows of concrete, shoveling in a pail, pouring it down into the form.
that's that liquid rock we're talking about.
That is a
sexy thing.
Oh, baby. Broke those forms up and put new forms up, and look at that. That is a fine looking sight. So fine. It's really starting to look like a house here. Let's put a roof on this bitch. Now onto the roof structural support. This will also be made out of concrete. And look there, the world's strongest grass, bamboo. The bamboo will be the support beams holding up the forms. As always, we will be using rebar for structural strength. Just like the foundation, we will be building forms, except they will be in the air. Then we crank on the mixer, put concrete into wheelbarrows, then shovel concrete into pails, hand bomb the pails as a team up the scaffolding, and pour it into the forms. Boom. Just like that, there's our concrete structure that will be the foundation for the roof. Fuck, that looks good. Here's the finished product. Come check it out, the full Monty.
So for $10,000, you get your structural foundation, you get your columns, and you get your roof structural support.
This is the entrance to the house. This will be the front doorway here. Walk in. To your right, there'll be a bathroom. See that? There's the bathroom.
Your right, my left.
And then here, it's going to be the guest bedroom. Now, come here. You walk in, the kitchen. It's going to be here. This will be the kitchen. And the island will be right here. This will be the island. And then, this right here is going to be the living room. This will be the living room. And here will be the patio doors that open up. You can visualize it. Patio door is opening up. Now if you come over here, patio doors, the master bedroom, right here, they open up for this as well. Come on. This will be the master bedroom here. As you walk in, here will be the door. This will be a closet. The master bathroom will be here. The master bathroom. Shower here. Toilet. And sink. And then you can see the patio runs all that way. In the guest bedroom, there's patio doors that open up to the view. That beautiful view there. Isn't that just lovely?
I'm going to show you how to build a $10,000 retaining wall in Ecuador. I just got one question. So what are we going to do, Trump?
We're going to build a wall.
And how big is it going to be?
Huge.
That's right, a huge fucking wall. Yeah!
We dig in a trench, and that's for our foundation. Look at the columns there. They're at an angle, and that's gonna give our wall extra support. That's right, boys. Thumbs up. You know what time it is. It's time for that liquid rock. Yeah! Then we grab big rocks and put them down, and they are gonna make our foundation. So big, so rocky. You see there? That is 3.5 meters high. Then we put the forms in, getting there nice and deep like. And then boom! That is the base for our wall. Next step is big rocks and rebar. Putting in the foundation on the other side of the hill. God, that looks good. Oh yeah. Boom! Now say it with me. Here comes that liquid rock. Here's the fun part. We start laying down the rocks, but we need to find the right rocks to fit in with the other rocks. Sometimes we'll use a hammer to break it and shape it to make it fit. As we keep building it up, we put dirt on the back side of it and then throw a piece of giant rebar there and there. that runs through the whole wall. As we go up, the rebar crisscrosses through the columns. Up, up, up we go, but are you excited to see when it's done? Here's the truck delivering more rocks for the retaining wall. So many rocks. And then we start breaking and shaping the rocks and laying her down. Yeah, grab some more mortar there, bud. Good job. We need to make this wall huge. Getting bigger and bigger. This is my favorite part. Ecuadorian scaffolding. Look at that shit. That's Jimmy rigged hard. Higher and higher we go until this. Oh, baby. This is our unfinished huge wall. Next step is filling in the cracks. I'm so excited. Now we're on the finishing of the wall. This is where things slow down because we're in the detailed work. Did someone ask for some rhubarb pie? With a little vanilla. Oh God, I just love that rhubarb. This is the last part of the wall that we're finishing. I want you to look at the wall. This is the rough version of it. That means we're gonna fill the holes with mortar, make it look pretty. Now, are you ready for the finished product? And here it is. So what the boys did is they took mortar and then filled up the cracks. This is finished and this is unfinished. Now we gotta ask, Trump, what do you think?
Huge wall.
Trump, I gotta agree with you. It is a huge wall and a damn nice one too. And that's how you build a wall in Ecuador.
And in this particular video, we're doing the concrete floor. Now, just so you have a general idea, it's 150 square meters of a house and of concrete floor, and it's 9 centimeters thick. Now, the price for this floor was $3,000, and it took 2 days. 1 day to prep, and then 1 day to pour. So, I'm gonna show you what we did and how we did it. So, come on, let's go.
This is how Ecuador does its plumbing and electrical. Here's the main power box. All that white tubing is for the electrical, and that tubing right there is for the water lines for the shower and sink. Now that's where the kitchen sink will be. And here is the electrical sockets and light switch for the master bedroom. Then we go into the master bathroom. This is the shower, and this is the drain. Next, you're gonna see where the toilet's gonna go, the sink, and more electrical lines for the power sockets and light switch for the master bedroom. Now we have power sockets that line the outside of the patio for music and lights and whatnot like that. So this is basically Ecuadorian plumbing and electrical, and after the prep we cover it with concrete. Time to put in our Ecuadorian concrete floor. Looking at that wire mesh, that acts as our rebar. Say it with me, that's our liquid rock. We're gonna do it in 3 sections, the left, middle, and right. Tula moves it around to where he wants the rock to go. That beam is used to give it its smooth finish. And here is the first lane being done. That's a beautiful floor. Let's do another. Guacho takes a wet broom and brushes the concrete to give it its finish. Here's the middle lane almost being done, and here's the boys taking that beam and doing the Kansas City shuffle. Back and forth to get that nice finish. Middle lane done, on to the third lane. Give her a shake there, boys. And here's the finished product, the whole floor being done. That is a beautiful sight.
So for $3,000, you get a 150 square meter floor, 9 centimeters thick. Now I have to say everything here in Ecuador is done through manual labor. So I got mad respect for the boys because they work hard. I'm gonna show you what a $15,000 roof gets you here in Ecuador. Come on, let's go.
We're putting in the Spanish style 4-corner roof. When we put in the roof structural support, we left knobs of rebar at desired distance to weld support beams to. Let's put in the patio roof. Patios and pina coladas go so good together. Ecuadorians got pretty good balance. They don't use any safety lines when they work. Then we add the structural support beams for the patio. And then what we do is we add the structural strength beams on top. Check this out, what we got so far. She's a fucking beauty. Now, building my roof in Ecuador, we use stainless steel beams. Now, these beams don't rust, which is super important from the salt water from the ocean. There's Arnold and Barney. They're just welding up the beams. They use a stick welder to do that. We give the roof its structural support by adding cross beams. These cross beams are throughout the house. Here, if you look here, there is a side view of the roof. The next steps are sanding the beams and painting them again with the black paint. After that, we'll be grabbing the roof and putting it on. After the welder finishes the roof and the patio beams, what we do is the finishing touches. We take epoxy and put it around where all the welding was done. What we also do is give the beams a good sanding so when we paint, the paint will stick better. And here's Patio painting, just taking her to the dome like a motherfucking Now here's the patio pole done. Look how nice that finish is after it's done being painted. And here are the beams that have been finished being painted. Damn, that looks nice. The final step is now putting on the roof. Now we're putting on the roof of the house. Just getting her done with jamming through with a stick. Then Patio takes the screw gun and screws her down. We got that Spanish style looking house. It looks like the clay tiles, but it's actually made out of tin. Like I said before, it's a 4-corner house. So this is what it looks like from underneath when we have the whole roof in. It looks pretty good. Now here's the top view. This is when we're putting the caps on. Here's the other side of the roof. It looks pretty damn good. This is the roof when it's finally done. Tell me what you think. Do you think it looks good?
Just to give you some scale here, the square meterage of the house is 150 square meters. Just so you can plan if you ever want to build in Ecuador. So that's what a $15,000 roof gets you. We got the expensive tin that looks like clay tiles, but it's actually made out of tin. And the roof structural support was made with stainless steel. And that's why, so far, it's been the most pricey thing on the house. We finally finished the brickwork. Now this took about 4 weeks to do. Doing the house with brick did make the cost go up just because it's a more time-consuming job. The brick is about this big instead of a cinder block being almost 4 times the size. However, it's the price you pay to have your vision done your way. So no further ado, this is what $15,000 of brickwork will get you in Ecuador. Let's go.
The first thing we had to decide on a design of bricks. Now the wall you're gonna see right now, that is the design we picked. Because we have 2 types of bricks. We have red bricks, we have yellow bricks, and we have rustic red bricks. Right here is when we laid our first brick. This was super exciting. First layer of brick with some mortar, and then boom. This is what it looks like after it's been cleaned and the mortar scraped out. Now we use 2 different sizes of bricks, as you see right there, and we do that to get more depth and contrast in the brick pattern. These master bricklayers have so much experience, and it's so amazing to watch them at work. The walls keep coming up, and now we're getting ready for the windows. And this is what this wall looks like when the windows are fully in. It's beautiful. We're starting to do the walls to the bedroom in my house. By far, for the project for the house, the brickwork has taken the longest. And that's simply because it has to be done right. The grout between the bricks have to be scraped out, and then after that, we give the bricks a good cleaning so the mortar doesn't stick into the cracks. Check this out. These will be where the patio doors will go. We had to reinforce the doors with concrete blocks because we wanted it to be very solid. Every day the walls get taller and we get a little bit closer. This is just great. Right there, we're finishing up the kitchen wall. Here's the reinforced patio doors. They look real sturdy. And that's us finishing up the kitchen wall right there. Here, let me show you what we got so far inside the house. That's the laundry room and bathroom. And here is the master bathroom and master bedroom right here. It's coming along together real good. Here's our cutting bay, and we cut the bricks to fit them for the wall. We also just use the faces like this when we get into the more detailed work, like you can see here. We are finishing up with the brickwork, now moving on to the detailed finishing of the house. Things really slowed down because the boys make sure it's done right. We take mortar to cover the concrete beams and pillars like this. Here's the full process to get to the final finish. The next step will be painting them. The beams on the roof will be painted black, and the rest will be painted a nice bright white. Here, I want to show you the rest of the finishing throughout the house. That's the main structural beam for the living room. That's Lula finishing up the master closet, and Lario working on the side beams. Now, come check this out. This is the finished door. Look how smooth that looks. Nice. I'm gonna show you the window next. So this will be for the bedroom window. There's Lario finishing up, laying down some brick on one of the structural beams. The place is coming together beautifully. I'm so happy with how it's turned out so far, and the boys have just been doing a great job.
my dream to build a house here. And here is my house with the walls up. Come on, let me show you. So, front entranceway. This is it, come on in. And here, guest bathroom. Look at this. Got some white tiles here. So nice. Guest bathroom. And then, follow me here. We got the guest bedroom. Guest bedroom. These are your patio doors. And here we got the living room, open concept kitchen. Kitchen's gonna go right here. Sink. We have a nice, comfortable island. Over here is gonna be the living room with the couches. I'm gonna put a desk over there for work. Let me show you the master bathroom, the master bedroom. Right here, master bedroom. That's so lovely. Right here, master bathroom. Sweet. Oh yeah. Now let's show you the patio. Patio's great. Come on. Here's the patio. Goes all the way throughout the whole house. And the view. It's so damn good. Look how good that is. Fuck, it's good. I'm going to show you what $3,000 of drywall work, and paint gets you in Ecuador. Now we use two different types of drywall. We use an interior and an exterior drywall. The exterior obviously is water resistance against the moisture that is produced from the ocean. Also use two different types of paint, black and white. And in this video, we're gonna show you how it looks and how we did it with the process. Come on, let me show you.
First, we use two different types of drywall, one for the outside and one for the inside. Then what we do is we start taping and putting drywall compound over the holes, as you can see here. Then we layer drywall compound over the whole sheet of drywall. Here's what it looks like when it's unfinished, and here's what it looks like when it's finished. Next, we start doing sanding. We sand the beams and the drywall compound and get it prepared for painting. We're painting the drywall white and the beams will all be painted black. This is what it looks like finished. This is the closet in the master bedroom, and this is what it looks like in the guest bedroom. For the patio, we used a different type of drywall, which is water resistant. In the living room, we painted the main beam black and then finished up with everything else. And this is what it looks like when it's all done being painted.
So that's what $3,000 of drywall is gonna get you. Now it took some time because there's a lot of finishing work and stuff like that.
For the doors, we wanted to spice things up a bit. Driving through one of the coastal towns, we seen something on the streets that gave us an idea. They burnt the wood. Genius! So naturally, we decided to burn the doors. For all the doors in the house, we went to the local door store and picked up the 4 doors we needed. But for the front door, we wanted something special, something to make the house pop. We wanted a custom built door. Pinterest, what a great place, so many options and ideas. But ultimately, I fell in love with the classic Z barnyard door style. And that's what we built. And I'm happy to present to you our custom built front door Z barnyard door style door. For the door, we wanted it to look like the wood was freshly cut. So what we took was a grinder disc and gave the wood grain. And what worked so great was when we burnt it, that grain in the wood really popped. Now the price for all the doors, the 4 doors in the house, was $50 each. And that's just for your normal door. And for the custom door, the door itself cost $250, the lock was $150, and the handle was $100. So the cost of the doors altogether was $700, and all of them were solid wood. The windows go with the theme of the house. I wanted that black window industrial look. Now, it wasn't exactly what I wanted, but pretty damn close. If the black square metal was a little bit thinner, that would have been ideal. But you gotta listen to me. A lot of times in Ecuador, you gotta make compromises. If you want things exactly the way you want, you need to go to the big cities and get it custom built, and that's big money. However, the windows and the patio doors turned out so good, and I'm super happy with the results. The boys, my crew, are so wonderful. Every time I come to the house, they did these little add-ons that they didn't have to do. You know when you talk about your desires, but didn't think you had enough money for them? And then boom, there were these highlights. And one of them was the burnt planks around the living room patio doors. They look so good. The craftsmanship from the Ecuadorians is top shelf. And they always give me these little surprises that I appreciate so much. The patio doors and the windows cost around $4,000. Now, I had to pay an extra $1,500 for the windows and doors to look like the industrial look. That's for the extra cost for aluminum and work. I love the overall look of the house, and I'm extremely happy with the way it turned out. We get the floor prepared by wetting it first and putting a string for desired height we want the floor to be. Then we mix up the concrete with a shovel and water. For the finished floor, it is only sand, cement, and cement compound. We start putting down lanes at desired heights so we have a rough idea on how high the floor should be. The boys move it, spread it around until we finally get our final product for the master bedroom. And here it is. This was the first room we did. This is the master bedroom. The next room is going to be the living room. We do the exact same thing we did with the master bedroom. We prep it with the same way with the strings, and then we put down the lanes. And then we start filling those lanes with concrete. The boys take their high-tech concrete smoother stick to get that desired finish we're looking for. Next, they throw dry cement powder over the wet, hardening concrete floor, and then work that into the floor with the smoother stick. Back and forth they go until they are happy with the floor and how it looks. Now onto the patio. Same process, but we did encounter a problem with the patio. So let me give you some advice. With the patio, because it was so warm out, and eventually the sun came out and shone on the floor, it made the floor dry too fast, and we had to redo it. So in your project, make sure your floor won't dry too fast. What we did was work at night to finish it, and that did the trick. And we also encountered this multi-legged bastard walking all over the wet concrete. How dare he? This is what it looks like when the floor is dry and ready for its next step, which is polishing the concrete. Not like back home in Canada, there is no machine, and the boys polish it by sandpaper and water. It sounds crazy, but they did do a beautiful job. Here, come check it out. And here is the front door. Now we're moving into the guest bedroom. Here, come check out the living room. Look at that floor. The colors, the textures, the design. I really love how it turned out. I'm so happy with the boys and the craftsmanship. They did a spectacular job, and I can't believe they did that with just sandpaper and water. And here is the master bedroom. And finally, the patio. We are now working on the bathrooms. I decided I wanted a white tile for the shower. It's such a clean, simple look, but it always works. We use the same process in Canada. We put the grout on the walls and we take the tile and then put it on. Take a hammer and give it a few good taps, and that usually does it. Now here, look at this. This is the guest bathroom, almost all finished up. And here is the master bathroom with all the tiles up. Then we started to work on the countertops for the bathroom. This one will be for the master bathroom, and the other one, the smaller one, will be used for the guest bathroom. Now the wood we used was a very heavy hardwood called Colorado. That's what they call it here in Ecuador. Now I chose white circular sink basins. We hooked it up to the plumbing and we plumbed her in. Again, the theme of the house is the industrial look. So what I did was took copper pipes to make the sink taps. All right, there, you're looking at some goddamn nice industrial sink taps right there. In the shower, we used the same copper pipe idea with copper turning valves as the taps for the hot and cold water. Because the house is very blocky and square, we kept that same theme for the showers and made the shower head be at a 90-degree angle pointing down. We got all the plumbing hooked up, so there's water for the taps and the shower. So that's a real positive thing. We got hot water hooked up, that's super positive. And yeah, so we're just getting to the final bits of the house project, and it's really coming together quite nicely. On to the kitchen for our kitchen parties. Woohoo! Now, the idea behind the kitchen is the open concept. So it merges with the living room, so you can flow in and out from the kitchen to the living room and on to the patio. So what the boys do next is they grab cinder blocks, and those cinder blocks are going to be the foundation for the kitchen island and countertops. The countertops and the island are going to be made out of concrete, and that concrete will be reinforced with rebar. Now, the idea behind the concrete is twofold. I was thinking about putting wood countertops, but the reason I didn't do that was because I plan to Airbnb it when I'm not in the country. The problem with wood is renters could put a hot pan and then burn the wood, and it would look weird. So concrete is very durable, and it also works well with the industrial look, and decided to go with that option. Color I decided for the concrete countertops was a dark gray. Now to do this, it's pretty easy. You buy a black powder that mixes with the concrete, and you sprinkle in the amount and work it into the countertops until you get the shade you want. So here's your Ecuadorian house building tip. So we outsource the wood cabinets to a woodworking shop. This is known throughout Ecuador. The woodworking shops are slow, and whatever dates they give you, just add 2 more weeks on top of that. I was warned in advance by friends, so when they were late, I was ready for it. For the countertops, we put on a semi-gloss sealant for the concrete, just so it doesn't get stained by things getting spilt on it like wine and whatnot. For the kitchen tap, I was lucky enough to have my wonderful parents come and visit me from Canada, and they brought me this beautiful black tap for the sink. Thanks, Mom and Dad. Those are the wood shop boys installing the cabinets 2 weeks late. But it's all good because they look wonderful. Again, for the kitchen cabinets, we chose to burn the wood, and I just love how it turned out. Come check it out. This is what the kitchen looks like, and the house is finally done. Stick around because we have some drone footage of the house complete. Also, we have the final walkthrough of the house so you can see how everything looks completely finished and how my dream house in Ecuador turned out. Also, at the end, I'm gonna give you the exact prices on what everything costs. So if you ever want to build, you can price it out and have a good idea how much money you'll need to build your dream house. And finally, I'm gonna talk about all the mistakes I made and when I build again, where I could save tens of thousands of dollars.
Hey, I'm Ryan Wiersma, and 7 years ago, I had a dream to build a house here in Ecuador. And I'm happy to present that dream just came true. Now let me show you the house. Come on, follow me. Here, this is the front entranceway. Black poles here, and check this out. Custom Ecuadorian door here. Come on in, I'll show you around. Over here, this is a laundry room right here, and this is the bathroom. We went with the old industrial look. We got the copper pipes, got a nice white shitter there, and got some nice copper taps. Check that out. It's nice. And then here's the guest bedroom. I got the guest bedroom here. And come check out our just finished closets. How sexy is that? Just finished her up. Another closet for the other person, and yeah, we burnt the doors. You can see we burnt all the doors to give it that nice industrial look. Pretty badass. Come on, show me the other place. Right here, open concept kitchen and living room. We got the kitchen just got put in 2 days ago. That's exciting. We got the whole oven and stove. Great. Fire. How great is that? And our whirlpool fridge. More cupboard space. And this right here, living room. Open concept. We're not done yet. Come on to the master bedroom. The master bathroom. Check this out. Copper sink tap thing. Woo, baby. And over here, more copper shower stuff. Oh. How great is that? Come on. And we got the old closet here. They just got finished up. And then more doors. Look at this. How great is that? So, this is the master bedroom. We're getting a custom built bed. Not done yet. That's why that's there. But here's the best part. Patio. This is the patio. It runs along the whole house. And right here, the best part is the view. Check how sexy that is. What a great view. Get it. House in Ecuador. Done. Woo!
So it's done. I'm back in Canada, and the place is rented out. Now, my finishing words and advice to anyone building in Ecuador. First, the most important thing is having a good contractor. I know, I got super lucky with Pedro because I've heard horror stories. But Pedro hit the mark every time, and not only that, exceeded my expectations. So if anyone's ever thinking about building in the Montanita, Ecuador area, you message me in the comments and I'll give you his contact information. Next, where things cost extra. The reason why things cost extra was because of me, and I wanted things done a certain way. My vision created a price tag probably $25,000 to $30,000 more than what it needed to be. But that's the price you pay to have things done your way. So, how could I have done things differently? First, the roof. I paid a premium for that roof. So I could have saved probably around $7,000 if I chose a different material for the roof that would not look as nice but serve the same purpose. The windows and the patio doors, because I wanted it to have that industrial look, was an extra $1,500 just to get the aluminum and the labor. So that's an extra price. You gotta remember, I started with raw land, which means we had to put in our own electrical poles and transformers, and that was an extra $4,000. So it's a good chance you're not gonna have to do that where you build. Also, I built on a hill, and that was another $12,000 just for land prep and a wall. The reason I built on the steepest part of my land was to maximize putting more buildings on it to make more rentals so I can make passive income when I'm not there. When you add up all these things, it costs roughly around $25,000 to $30,000. So that's the premium I paid, again, to have it done my particular way. When I build next, I plan to do a couple of high-end one-bedroom cabanas, roughly around 5 meters by 5 meters or 6 meters by 6 meters. And that project will probably cost around $20,000 to $25,000 to build up one of those high-end cabanas. Listen, if you have any questions, please leave it in the comments below and I will get back to you as best I can. This is one of the funnest projects I've ever part of. I had a blast, and I just want to finish with thanking my great crew for the amazing experience of building this house and doing such an amazing job. So I hope this video helps when you're building projects, and much love.